Hello and welcome to the Rabyd Atheist. I'm Rabyd, a former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel. Feel free to like or dislike the video as you see fit, so feel free to hit those buttons. Feel free to comment below, and I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel and hit your notification bell for more content as it is released. You're also free to share my videos as much as you like, because the purpose of this channel is educational in regards to atheist and deconversion issues and any issues related to those issues. A hearty shout out to the Rabyd Nation. Join the nation by hitting that subscribe button. And if you want to become a paying citizen of the nation and help out the channel, hit that join button and your options will be presented to you. Welcome to another Deconstruction Friday, where I talk about different things that you can do to help you deconstruct from your former faith. Right now I'm kind of mixing deconstruction and reconstruction into deconversion until I get my deconversion story for 2023 completed. But today I want to talk about, well, to give you 5 thoughtful questions to ask your deconverted self during the holidays. What I mean by that is, we all, if you're deconverted, you become an atheist, or you become an agnostic, or you're just through with religion in general, and you've got to go through the holidays, and you're thinking to yourself, well, all these holidays are kind of based on religious things. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. I know, we just recently finished Thanksgiving yesterday, and I would just, want to tell you that I went through Thanksgiving on Wednesday. I had it with my family. We had a lot of food. We had a lot of laughs. Played a game. Hey, I won. Okay. Been a while since I've won Settlers of Catan. Usually everybody gangs up on me because I'm so good, but this time I won. And I had a great time. And you know what didn't happen? One thing that was necessarily religious. Not one thing. Even though a lot of my family members are still religious, it didn't have to be that way. Okay, so going through the rest of the holidays, what are some of the questions that I'm going to be asking myself this holiday season, and what questions I can pass on to you to help you get through the holidays as somebody who's deconverted? Number one, ask yourself what's most important about the holidays for you, okay, in particular. About your family, what's important to them. What is most important here, okay? And what I mean by that, in large part, is, for me, as much as I believe that people believe in all this religious stuff falsely because it's not really true as far as I'm concerned, what's more important to me is my family. What's more important to me is my relationship with my kids, my grandkids, my relationship to my mom. Those things are the most important things to me. And so in family situations, for me, all the religious stuff and the atheist stuff takes a back seat to building relationships with my family members and my friends. I don't get into this so much that I sacrifice the relationship in order to be right. Okay, to me, having the relationship with those people is more important than being right now. Okay. Now, I understand some of you may be in a background that your religious upbringing was very abusive. The holidays have a lot of bad memories for you because of that. A lot of PTSD, a lot of that stuff. By all means, you are fully within your rights as a human being to stay home. Okay, it's not cowardly. It's just not subjecting yourself to that stuff again. If, there is I think family is important for a lot of reasons, but if your family has been your worst enemy throughout your years, maybe it's time to find and develop your own family, your own unit of friends. I know plenty of people that have pulled out of very toxic situations with their religion, and the holidays just bring a lot of flashbacks and stuff. You're fully within your rights, so what's most important? Even with my own family before the whole faith versus atheism controversy, is my own psychological well-being. If I felt that the situation was such where, I was feeling like I was being pressured or something like that, and it was bringing a lot of stuff back into my fold, into my memory, yeah, I'm not going to participate in that. I think as a former minister, I have a lot of problems with like Christmas Eve services, particularly candlelight services, because I used to do a lot of them. I have a lot of trouble with choirs and things like that because I used to sing in the choir and I used to enjoy it. But now it's kind of I want to sing in a choir, but I don't want to have anything to do with religion, and so that's kind of where I'm at. And so there's a lot of things that are just making me uncomfortable. I literally haven't gone into a church but once, and that wasn't during services. That was to celebrate, in the fellowship area, somebody's anniversary. That's the only time I've been in a church since I left the pulpit. So, one time in 5, almost 6 years now. It's just not, it's not conducive. So I absolutely understand, you have to ask that question: what's most important to you, your mental well-being, your family, or being right? Okay, and a million other things that you got to put on that priority list. The purpose of this guy asking that question is to get your priority list going through the holidays. What's most important. Number 2, what can I celebrate? It's interesting that religions around the world all seem to celebrate this time. I mean, you've got Hanukkah, you've got Kwanzaa, you've got Christmas, of course, and of course, I focus more on the pagan holidays now because they're more the holidays of my ancestors. And to me, going through it as Yuletide is much more efficient. I can still celebrate, I can still give gifts, I can still be a part of family activities, I can still build those relationships and have a good time and enjoy myself and enjoy the company without getting involved in all the religious trappings. So you can celebrate something. That's the end of a year. Looking back at what you've accomplished, looking back at the relationships you've built, looking back at how you've entangled your life, and you feel so much better. I know that right now, in me asking this question, what can I celebrate? I'm celebrating the fact that I feel mentally so much better because of the things I've discovered this year. And I'm kind of looking forward to 2024, but I'll get to that. That's another question that we'll get there. But for me, at this moment, I'm looking back and saying, it was kind of a rough early year in January when I had to move back to Michigan, and I've struggled, personally, financially, a whole bunch of struggles this year. But some good things have happened. The YouTube channel came back online and starting to take off. I'm starting to feel the yen to write again, but when I go into it this time, I want to do some things different. Talk about that in a minute. I'm celebrating mentally this discovery that I'm possibly autistic because it's allowed me to cope so much better with my ups and downs emotionally, because I know, okay, I'm feeling down. Why? Is it really because bad things have happened, or is this hypersensitivity, that's draining my nervous system right now? And just that discovery has allowed me to be so much better. And because of that, I'm looking forward to the next year with a lot of optimism. So looking back and celebrating my milestones, looking back and celebrating some of the things I've accomplished, but also looking in the here and now, celebrating my family, maybe, doing Yuletide instead of Christmas, it gives you a whole new meaning to the 12 Days of Christmas song, by the way. And, just, celebrating the end of the year, quite literally, the winter, solstice, the whole bit. For me, I live in a temperate zone, so the 4 seasons are a big thing. And there's some things to celebrate. You get to the end of fall, it's about harvest. You get to the beginning of winter, and it's, death and renewal, the cycle of life here in this area. And I can get into that, enjoying winter's chill, which I enjoy more than summer heat. So it's, to me, it's a time to celebrate life. Okay, you can celebrate your life and what you've accomplished, and you can celebrate your deconversion. You don't necessarily want to do that in people's face, but that's the subject of the third question, which is, how can I be a good human being during the holidays this year? I think there is one thing about the holiday season, I think, that we should emulate and we should go forward is, being, peace on earth, goodwill to men doesn't have to be a religious thing. How can I be a good human being? How can I be a decent human being towards others? What can I do to help? Okay, this is a question you can ask, genuinely help. I'm looking at a lot of things. Probably people look at me weird because I walk right past the Salvation Army guys and they're they're ringing bells because I won't give to that organization. It's religious. But at the same time, I don't have a problem dropping some money towards a noble cause if I feel that, and I'm thinking about that. It's a question of how do I be a good human being, not just for the holidays, but how do I move on and make that a part of my life every day? And, if I get into a better financial place, there's definitely a few things like the Clergy Project and, a few other charities that, are secular in nature that don't necessarily have any religious overtones are on my radar. And I think this is the kind of thing that you can look at. How can I be a decent human being? How can I be a good human being? How can I be a better human being at this time of year? It's a good time to self-reflect on your morals and how you're handling things going forward. Being a decent human being is definitely an advantage to yourself and to others. So it's a good question to reflect on during the holidays. Most all these holidays have gift giving, so the fourth question is, what is the most thoughtful gift that I can give? And part of the thoughtfulness is a lot of people, okay, and this is me working in retail and being a minimalist. Who do I really need to give gifts to? People have this Christmas cards list and they send Christmas cards to 500 people they haven't seen in decades. And I've never really understood that. Seems like a little bit of a waste to me. But there's also the aspect of looking at it and going, who do I want to give to and why? And we always feel this obligation to buy for everybody, but I'm a little financially strapped this year. I'm surviving, but I don't have a lot of extra money to be throwing at gifts. And so how do I be more thoughtful about my gift giving? Okay, not be wasteful. But also when I do give a gift, what can I do to give it that's thoughtful? And I don't think you want to be antagonistic during the holidays. I don't think buying somebody's Richard Dawkins as the God delusion and putting it as a stocking stuffer to your, one of your theist family members is a really good idea. I don't think that's a good idea. But, you may want to get them what you know about them, what are their hobbies, what do they like, getting them something along those lines would be welcome and appreciated and build good relationships down the road, which is always beneficial. So that's something that you can do. But being thoughtful, being respectful, giving your gifts in such a way that it genuinely, this person goes, hey, I really appreciated that. I think that's a way to go. It's also about, I think, for those of us that are atheists, we have such a bad rap, and I know it seems like it's unfair, but we also need to make sure we're not giving people ammunition. So being good and being kind is a good way to do that. So being thoughtful in our gift giving is just a way to do that. Number 5, what should I focus on in 2024? Like I said, the end of the year is a good time to start focusing and planning. I'm already thinking about what habits I want to develop in December so that when I hit January, I hit the ground running. That's a big difference from many past years that I've gone into the new year because I'm looking at it as, okay, I've accomplished a lot of things. There's still a lot of things I want to do. YouTube is starting to take off. Some of my morning routines, my exercise routine is doing well, but there's some stuff that's missing, like my diet could be more on point. When the snow gets off the ground, I want to get back into hiking. So taking, an hour a day to train on that and walk with a backpack, not a bad idea. Trying to slim down, what diet I'm going to do. Some of the stretching that I need to do in the morning needs to improve. Some body weight exercises, doing things around here in a routine manner. This is just the time to build a routine. And one of the other things I'm looking for is I really like to write, but I need to develop a disciplined habit of writing because by the end of 2024, I definitely want to have something that's worthy of publication, of publishing. And so I need to get the discipline of a writer in place with all this as well. And I think that's going to be about it. I don't want to overload myself with too many goals or too many things, but just developing the habits and the discipline and the things that I need to do to get where I want to go and get there better. I don't think I'm done yet. I'm not doing bad for a 54-year-old, so from a health standpoint, but I would like to see things get better where I can do more and be more. And so for you, I think you can ask that question, what am I trying to accomplish next year? And I'd start asking that question every once in a while now. be thinking about what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, where you'd like to improve, and what strengths you have that you want to take to the next level, moving on in that direction, becoming a better person, becoming something more. I think those are noble goals, something that we need to strive for. And so, think about that right now as the best way to go. Bonus. And this one's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and I hope my theist friends don't get upset, but it's how do I handle the Christian persecution narrative this holiday season? It's one of the things that I have noticed. I work in retail, and a lot of people have come up to me making the point to say, Merry Christmas, and I don't care if they ban me. And I'm like, nobody is ever going to ban you for saying Merry Christmas. This narrative, they're taking the activities down from the city hall. Yeah, they should, because the city hall should be religion neutral. It shouldn't have any of that stuff. I love Christians, but, do you ever think the implication of you putting the nativity on, we can put up our Muslim stuff, we can put up Jewish stuff, Hindu stuff, all of it, pagan stuff, for Christmas. I'm not trying to be rude, but you have churches to put your nativity scenes up on, and you can say Merry Christmas. Nobody's persecuting you for this stuff. And so how do I handle that as I go through the holidays? I don't know. I don't want to be a jerk about pointing it out, but I think sometimes you just need to say, if you want to say Merry Christmas, go right ahead. Ain't nobody going to stop you. And that just kind of undercuts the narrative. I mean, you can put your nativity up in front of your church. You can have your candlelight services in your church. You can do the stuff you want at church. I think simply pointing out the facts during this is pretty good. I'm still going to go with Happy Holidays because, I just don't want to be a jerk to anybody during the holiday season. It's more about coming together as a human race for me. At the end of the year, we've all gone our separate ways at the beginning of the year. We come back together and see what we've accomplished as a whole. And I think that's a good thing to do. So, yeah, how do you handle that persecution narrative that doesn't actually exist? A lot of patience, figure out what you can do, or you can ignore it altogether, but you should be the one asking the question. Well, I think that's it for this one. Thanks once again for stopping by. I appreciate every like, share, and subscribe, so keep doing what you do. Appreciate all the people that have joined the nation the last few days. The subscriber count is coming up. The watch hours are coming up. I am really, really hoping that my Christmas present will be a fully ad-funded YouTube channel. That would be great going into the new year. A little extra money for me on the courtesy of YouTube would always be good, and the YouTube algorithm gods being appeased would be awesome. So thanks for all that you guys do. Just keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. And as always, live your best life. You only get one go around, and then it's over. So make sure you're putting your focus in, your time, your money, your opportunities into yourself, your family, and the people that you love and care for. And don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end, and I know that from experience. Thanks once again for stopping by, and I'll catch you next time.